adding integers. Before we start adding integers, let's just figure out what are integers. So I'm drawing this number line right here that you might typically see in a classroom. You have your positives on your right side, negatives on the left. So the definition we're looking at is integers are whole numbers, like 2, and their opposites, like -2. Those are integers. So let's take a basic math problem like 5 minus 4. Guys, you don't even have to think about it. You automatically know it's 1. It's pretty easy. Now let's confuse you a little bit and do 5 plus -4. So now you might be a tad bit confused. Well, let's look at it. That plus, I want you to always think of an addition sign as the word and. Okay? So now it says 5 and -4. It's 1. You still may be confused, so let's dive a little bit deeper. Integers can be tricky if you don't quite understand them. So, let's rewrite it. 5 and -4. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw two types of circles over here. First, you have this open circle, which means it's not colored in. That's considered a positive. Then you have a closed circle, which means it is colored in, and we're going to call that negative. You can kind of relate that back to elementary. If you remember back in elementary, you had those little chips that your teacher had. On one side it was yellow, on one side it was red. Those are really helpful. But what I really want you to think about is imagine you have a positive and a negative. Those things cancel each other out. If I give you a dollar bill and then I take it away, you're back to 0. So a positive and a negative cancel each other out and equal 0. So we call those things zero pairs. So once again, a positive cancels out a negative. Oh man, I apologize. My voice is getting a little raspy there. So we're going to look at our positives. We have 5 positives over here. So I'm going to draw 5 positive circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we have 4 negatives. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now we have it set up, we can easily look at it and we can see if we have any 0 pairs. So that negative cancels out that positive. That negative cancels out that positive. And you keep going down the line. So there's a 0 pair and we have one more 0 pair. So the question is, you got to ask yourself, what's left? Well, there's one positive. So guess what the answer is? Positive 1. Boom, there you have it, guys. All right, let's throw another example out there. On this one, we have 2 and -3. So it's kind of like I have $2 and I want to spend $3. I just don't have enough money. So one thing I didn't cover was, why are those parentheses there? So what if I wrote 2 plus -3, but I didn't put a parentheses there? That looks funky. It looks like it says 2 plus -3. That is so weird. So we have to put those parentheses around the negative sign and the 3 to separate everything. So I apologize for not covering that on the last example. So let's look at it. I have $2, so I'm going to draw 2 positive circles. Okay, and I want to spend $3. I saw something really cool that I want to buy. So I'm going to draw 3 negatives. 1, 2, and 3. Well, now I need to sit here and cancel out what I might or might not have. So there's a 0 pair. Those two cancel each other out. And those two cancel each other out. So what's left? Oh man, it's a -1. A -1 means that's my answer, but that's also how much I need to borrow. -1. All right, let's look at this. What if you owe me? Oh, that's a negative. What if you owe me $5? All right, so I'm going to write a -5 there. When you owe someone money, that's a negative thing. And you end up paying me back $3. Well, that's a good thing. That's positive. You're paying me back my money. But how much do you still owe me? So I wrote out my problem, -5 plus 3. So I'm going to put 5 negatives, because remember, that's how much you owe me. So I'm going to put -5, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going to put 3 positives, because that's what you just paid me back. So I'm like, cool, I appreciate it. Thanks for paying me back some money that you owe me. Now I'm going to sit there and figure out how much you still owe me. So I'm going to look at these 0 pairs. Those cancel each other out. So do those, and finally, so do those. So as I look, how much do you still owe me? Yeah, you still owe me $2. So since you owe me $2, that turns out to be a -2. Okay, now it's your turn. You can follow along with me as I work, but this is all you. Let's see if you can get it right. All right, so the final answer is +3. Now, one other way to look at it is you can sit there and say, I have $7 and I just spent $4 on lunch. How much money do I have left? And again, you have 3.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.